So there I was, no job, very little hope, and a family to feed. Now what? Hey there, friends. So if you saw my last video, you saw how my first voiceover was a one-word slogan for a used car lot in Gainesville, Florida in 1989.
Autorama!
Some very serious moments here in Mexico reminded me of how I restarted my career in voiceover after 12 years off, and I think this story might help someone out there if you're considering starting a career as a voiceover for a whole new job, a career, a side hustle, or a money hobby. In 1993, I left Gainesville and moved here to Cancun, and I didn't even get close to a microphone for another 12 years. In that time, I met and married my wife, had 3 kids, and worked selling art here in Cancun. And then in 2005, Hurricane Wilma wiped the floor with Cancun. It was one of the worst hurricanes in the Western Hemisphere, and it sat on Cancun for 2.5 days. If you don't believe me, you might want to look it up. At that time, I was selling art at a small gallery in the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. And that hotel, along with about 80% of the hotel and tourism industry in total in Cancun, was out of business for the better part of a year, at least. All of a sudden, 1 million people were out of a job, and I was one of them. So there I was, no job, very little hope, and a family to feed. Now what? Shortly after the storm, my Japanese teacher, Everto Herrera Batista, who was also a radio host here in Cancun, got in touch with me out of the blue and invited me to co-host a radio show with him on one of the few radio stations here in Cancun that had a working transmitter. That was Caribe FM. There was to be no pay for doing the show, but something in me said, "Do it, Andy." So I said yes. One day we had a guest on the show, a woman who ran a facility out at Isla Contoy, an island off the coast of Cancun that's a protected nature reserve. She asked me if I'd narrate a video for her promoting the island for tour operators and travel agencies, and, of course, there was no money in it. I still said yes. So I went to a small studio in the center of Cancun, met the lady from the island there, along with the production staff, and they led me to the plywood and foam booth to record. I read their script over, voiced it, got out of the booth, and when I did, there was someone waiting for me on the other side of the door. And he said, "¿Dónde chingados has estado?" I was like, "What? Hola, soy Andy. Mucho gusto." He's like, "I'm Pepe. Listen, the guy who did my English voiceovers took off after the hurricane. You want to work? Do you pay?" "Of course we pay. Can you come on Monday?" "Let me check my schedule." After the hurricane, Cancun's economy was sort of like how the rest of the world's economy was during the pandemic. Very little coming in. I said yes. I was there on Monday, and I got paid on Monday. And I have to thank Pepe, Minelia, Yolanda, Paola, Miguel, Fernando, Wilbert, Leonidas, and everyone else at Grupo JMS for giving this guy a shot at doing what he loves to do every single day. Now I do it from here in my home studio, but they took a chance on me. All because I said yes. I've found yes, or sí in this case, to be a powerful word when employed correctly. And I say employed correctly because there's some times when you just gotta listen to your gut and you have to say no. But never underestimate the power of yes. Was I scared? Yes. Was I insecure? Yes. Was I anxious? Oh, yes. Was I worried I'd do a shitty job? Uh-huh. And for some reason, I still said yes. Maybe the hungry mouths I had to feed at home had something to do with that. And that yes got me jump-started on my voiceover journey starting back in 2005. I've now done thousands of voiceovers in English and Spanish, and it all began by saying yes, or sí, or da. Do the thing that scares you. Follow your gut. Say yes. Now in 2005, Hurricane Wilma happened. That was 18 years ago, almost to the day. My heart goes out to the people who are in Acapulco right now going through absolute hell in the aftermath of Hurricane Otis. If you can find it in your heart to donate to the different causes helping those affected by Hurricane Otis, I've posted links in the description or in the comments to organizations that are helping out. You'll be making a huge difference in someone's life today. Thanks for watching, subscribing, and all your comments and ideas. Just say yes.